In this video, I'm talking about things that you do that could block your fat loss. So if fat loss is a goal that you have, there are certain things that you should make sure not to do because they will backfire on you, making you not lose the fat that you intend to lose. I know this because I have done these. And in my last video, I talked about the thoughts that you have that could be blocking your fat loss. So you can check that one out too. And then I have another video about how to actually lose fat, because I've been through all of this, and everything that I talk about in these videos are things I've experienced myself. I would not be talking about things if I did not know about them. And I'm not telling you what to do or what you should do or anything like that. I'm just sharing with you what has worked for me, what has not worked for me, what I'm currently doing, and what I plan on doing, so that it may help you too. And if it doesn't, that's okay as well. So the first thing that you do that can be blocking your fat loss if you do this is cutting too many things out. So a lot of people automatically assume that they need to cut down on carbs to lose fat. And yes, that can help you lose fat, but is that enjoyable? Is that fun? Is that sustainable? No, no, and no. It is not a very logical process, approach, and strategy to lose fat. Because I don't know about you, but I'm that person that doesn't like to get super intense with that kind of thing to achieve fat loss. What I mean is, I've tried to lose fat for years, many different ways. And the thing that worked actually for me was to make it a part of my life, fit it in my life, make it natural to me, make it feel good, make it enjoyable, make it sustainable, make it fun, and make it a part of my lifestyle. And then when I lost the fat that I lost, I adjusted to maintenance, okay? And if I want to lose fat again, I go back to that. I don't have to intensify so much to cram so much in such a short a period of time. Because when I did do that, it backfired and I gained the weight back. It wasn't sustainable. Now, if you want to go about that way, do that. But this is not what I'm talking about here. So, cutting so many things out. You don't have to cut carbs. You can eat carbs. 50% of what I eat are carbs, even when I lost fat. And I did not cut out the treats, the fun little foods either. I didn't cut out the ice cream. I didn't cut out the cake, the chips, the cookies, all that shit. I still ate it, because I fit it in, and I ate a small amount of it. It's not like I was eating the majority of that. The majority of what I was eating and still eat are whole plant foods. When I was losing fat, when I'm not losing fat, when I'm maintaining, or whatever the fuck I'm doing. It doesn't matter. You don't need to cut out the fun little treats. You'll need to cut out processed foods if you don't want to. You don't need to cut out carbs or fats either. You need these to function your best, right? You need carbs. You need fat. No, you don't need the treats, but they're fun if you want them. You don't have to have them if you don't want them, but you can if you want. You can still do all of the normal things you do while losing fat. That's what people don't understand. That's the biggest thing people struggle with, is thinking they have to totally overhaul and change everything. And maybe some people do because their lifestyle is so shit to begin with. But for the most part, most people don't have to make these drastic changes to lose fat. They are still doing the same things they were doing. They're just making little adjustments, right? And fitting it into their lifestyle, adding it or whatever, right? So you don't have to cut out carbs, you don't have to cut out fat, you don't have to cut out processed foods, and you don't have to cut out treats if you don't want to. You don't have to have the treats or the processed foods if you don't want to, but you do need carbs and fat either way. So stop with the restricting yourself. Stop with the restriction and thinking what you can't have. You can have whatever the fuck you want. I'm like, as long as it's vegan, I'll try it. Unless it's like vegan fish, because I never liked fish in the first place, so I don't think I like the vegan version either. Any kind of seafood, I hate that word because I don't view sea creatures as food. And I hate the word poultry and beef and pork. Just call it for what it is. It's the animal, right? So fish, crabs, what are all those other, lobster, clams, what are they called? all the little ocean creatures, I never will, like, even try the vegan versions. The fish I've had didn't like it, so I'm not gonna like the vegan version. I don't even mess with that, right? And there are animals that I never liked in the first place, so I'm not trying the vegan version. But besides that, and some vegan meats I just don't like, okay? I just don't. But there are a few that I do, and I rotate and alternate between them because I love a variety, right? I love to try new things. So even when I'm losing fat, when I'm not, when I was and I wasn't, whatever, I still try everything that's vegan except for what I just said. And so, you know, be open to that. Have a variety. You don't need to cut anything out. You can explore because you're able to have the same things. There's a vegan version of it, especially nowadays. There truly is. So another thing is your portion sizes. People don't realize that when you are losing fat, it is a numbers game. Okay, this is science that you can't get around. It's just science. You have to burn more than you consume, period. So it's a numbers game, it's a calorie game. If you're losing fat, the most helpful thing you can do is pay attention to your calories, and no, you don't have to track them, but have a range, know what you're doing, know where you're at so that you know what changes to make in all of this. I have a video about tracking food and how much I love it, but you don't have to do that and you don't have to watch that video. It's just there for you. So your portion sizes matter, okay? If you eat too much, you're going to not lose fat. You're going to actually gain, okay? And maybe not gain the weight that you want to gain. And if you restrict yourself, that's going to backfire on you and you're going to end up overeating. That's what I did, right? I wasn't paying attention to my portion sizes for a time, and I definitely overate. There's times where I underate as well and ended up eating too much too. So I underate, I overate, I didn't pay attention to my portion sizes. If you're eating something that has more calories in it and isn't very satiating, when you actually look at the serving size of whatever it is, you will see how minuscule and how small the portion size actually is. And you're like, that's it? Yeah, that's it, because that's how some foods are. So if you include those types of foods into your eating, be very mindful of that. Be very mindful of the portion sizes. Now, don't get into restriction mode with this because you definitely can, okay? You don't want to go there. Just be mindful of your portion sizes and go by the serving sizes that is right for you. Okay, start with one serving size and see where that goes for you. This is all about how you feel, right? You go by how you feel. You go by how your clothes fit more than you go by the number on the scale, because the number on the scale is just data. It's just feedback, just like when you track your food, right? But when you go by how you feel and when you see how your clothes fit, that's a better indicator of it, because muscle is more compact than fat is, right? Fat takes up more space. So the number on the scale could be deceiving, even though it's just feedback data, right? So it's better to go by how you feel. So pay attention to how you feel along all of this so that you can make necessary changes if you want to, but be mindful of your portion sizes. And that's not to say to make them tiny and like, oh, I can't have that, and like restrict yourself. No. Some foods have bigger portion sizes than others. Some foods have more calories in them than others, but you have to be mindful of it, because something that has a lot of calories in it that doesn't really have nutrients in it, that's not really satiating, it's not a big portion size. And you're like, that's it? Yeah, that's it. That's how some stuff is. And then there are foods that have a lot of calories in them that have a lot of nutrients in them, but you could definitely overeat them easily. Like you could overeat chips really easily. You could overeat nuts really easily. You could overeat fruit, which I have done too. Fruit is my favorite thing in the world to eat. Pineapple is my favorite fruit. I definitely overate on fruit so much. I was even eating multiple servings of fruit at a time. Just because something is healthy doesn't mean you can't overeat on it. You can, and I've done that. I've overeaten on fruit probably the most. I've overeaten on chips, crackers, nuts, like those types of things. You have to be mindful of everything regardless. Nut butters, like pay attention, right, to your portion sizes, but don't limit or restrict yourself, okay? Now, some things you may be able to eat more portion sizes than others. It just depends on the density, right? It just depends on the number of calories in the actual food that it is. So another thing is not eating consistently enough. So this goes back with cutting stuff out. So you're like, okay, well, I have to lower my calories, right? So that means maybe I should just skip a snack. Maybe I should just skip a meal. Now, some people don't eat snacks, so maybe this doesn't apply to you. But this does not mean skipping meals, right? This means continuing to eat regularly, continuing to eat consistently every 3 hours or more for meals. I don't know, that's just a general thing, right? And fit in snacks between them if you want, a snack or two, whatever. Eating, I don't know, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and one snack, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and two snacks, or breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and no snacks. Whatever it is. If you're doing, you adjust it, right? So if you're doing no snacks, then your meals are going to be bigger, right? That's what I mean. Make sure you're eating consistently. Spread out throughout the day. Don't eat all of your food in one time, like in a short period, right? And, I'm not about that fasting. I'm not. Now, some people can disagree with this. I'm not like an expert, but I feel that intermittent fasting can lead you to restriction and it feels very like not freedom, really. I mean, I've done that before so many times without meaning to do it. So you have to be mindful and put effort in planning your food, right? That will definitely help you to stay consistent. Now, I think fasting is beneficial in general. Like if you want to do like a juice fast, a water fast, or just eat fruit for like a day, a little bit more than a day, I don't know, a few days, whatever it is. But when it comes to intermittent fasting, I've done it and I say no to that. That's just me though. You might be different and that's okay. There's just reasons where it doesn't work for me and I don't like it, okay? So I'm saying don't restrict yourself. Don't cut out meals and snacks. If you do have snacks, right? Keep eating consistently. Keep eating regularly. This is good for your blood sugar. This is good for your metabolism. This is good for your health in general. Everything. Make sure that you're eating consistently, not cutting out stuff, not going too long without eating, and not eating everything in such a short time, okay? So that'll definitely help you a lot with this because you won't feel hungry and you won't overeat and you're not going to be under eating and you are going to get the food that you need, right? Because it's the same thing. When you're not losing fat, it's the same thing. When you're losing fat, you're eating a little bit less. That is it. And the more movement that you do, the more exercise that you do, the more you eat because you're burning more. So you're going to need to eat more, but you're still the more active you are, the more you're going to burn than you are going to eat. So if you're more sedentary, that's when you really have to make sure that you're getting in some type of movement to keep that going and to make sure that you pay attention to your portion sizes and everything. But eating consistently is super important and you always want to make sure that you're eating regularly. And like I said, you still do the same things. It's just a little bit of an adjustment. That's why you want to make it a part of your life and fit it in and make it a part of your lifestyle. There's not so many huge, scary, drastic, hard changes that you have to make unless you're coming from somewhere where you're just really not even close and just it's just out of whack, right? But most of the time it's not like that, okay? So, yeah. Make sure you do those things because that'll definitely help you. And the other thing is to make sure that you're eating balanced. So eating regularly, eating consistently, and balanced, okay? You need carbs, you need fat, you need protein, you need fruits and vegetables. Yes, you can fit in the treats. Yes, you can fit in the processed stuff or whatever the fuck you want. But make sure that you're hitting a certain amount of protein. If you want to have a protein goal, that'll help you to stay satiated and to not overeat and to make sure that you're getting what you need, as well as the carbs to make sure you have that energy and the fiber that you need as well, and the fruits and the vegetables for the color, the vitamins, the nutrients and all of that, and the fat. Fat is so good for your brain health and everything else. You need it all. It's a whole puzzle together, right? And it doesn't have to be hard or complicated. Choose a fat, choose a carb, choose a protein, choose fruits and vegetables. That's that volume, that's that color that will keep you satiated for a few hours so that your body digests that, and then you'll eat when you're ready to again, right? So this makes sure that you're not eating too often and then you're not missing out on anything that you need. And along with eating balance, it helps if you give yourself space and room to eat a variety of things, right? Try different fruits, try different vegetables. Don't just eat the same ones all the time. Same with the carbs, same with the protein and the fats. Give yourself room for variety. Even if you do have your favorites and you like to eat the same thing all the time, you can still add in different things and rotate them out. Now, it's the opposite for me. I like to try damn near everything that's vegan, and I have such a huge variety, and I get sick of the same thing all the time unless it's my favorite. Yeah, you're gonna have your favorites. You're gonna have your go-to staples and whatnot that you use for multiple meals and snacks, but it is still so important to have a variety in there. And a great way to get a variety in is to try a lot of different fruits and vegetables, right? Really just load up on the fruits and vegetables, even while you're paying attention to your portion sizes. So making sure that you do all of this can definitely help you. And if you want to make sure that you're stronger and, you know, have more mobility as you're losing fat, make sure that you're lifting weights and walking, okay? Make sure that not only are you working on your eating and hydration and your sleep, but you're also working on your exercise, fitness, and movement, because that's a huge part of it as well. And that could definitely help you in your fat loss too. So yes, it's burning more than you consume, and movement can definitely help with that. So when it comes to liquids, so if it's not just water, if you're drinking like juices, smoothies, and other things, may even be sodas, I don't know, it may be kombucha or like coffee or tea or something. You pay attention to what's in that too. And you also pay attention to what's in your sauces and your condiments, okay? Because a little bit of this can be a lot that's in it. And that can put you over the edge. That's why it's important to know where you're at, like to measure it out so that you know where to go from there. And you don't want to make it be too low because you don't have much room to go lower. So you want to go as high as you can go with the amount that you're eating, if you're tracking your calories, so that if you need to lower, you can a little bit. And that is the thing. People overlook stuff like crackers and chips and fruit and nuts and nut butters and oils and salad dressings and sauces and ketchups and drinks. They don't look at that stuff, when that is a part of what they're consuming. Everything that goes in your mouth, know that it adds up, know that it counts, right? So be mindful of that. And yes, you can fit all of these things in. You can still have peanut butter, you can still have salad dressings and oils, and even alcohol if you drink alcohol. I don't, so I can't speak to that. But coffee, I don't drink coffee either, so I don't know. But I know that, you know, they could be having a lot of things in them that can make, you know, make you overconsume, right? So just because something doesn't feel like you just ate or drank something, it doesn't feel very satiating, doesn't mean that it doesn't have stuff in it. Everything adds up, right? The calories add up. And that was one of my biggest things, was when I started to be mindful of the portion sizes and what I was doing with each, what I was putting together, then I was like, oh, so I'm actually eating more than I thought I was. It just didn't feel like I was because certain things were a certain way, right? So if you do include types of drinks or your fun treats and things like that, or different processed foods, don't put them all in together at once, because then you're not going to have room for the things that you actually need, really need the most, okay? That you actually need, right? So, you know, you can don't have like cookie, cake and chips and coffee and alcohol and all this shit in one time, one day. No, spread it out a little bit, right? You can fit it in, you have room for it. It's okay. So I hope this helps you. Eat consistently, eat regularly, eat balanced, make sure you get a variety, pay attention to your portion sizes, and you don't have to restrict yourself or cut anything out, right? It's the way that you look at it, right? It's the way that you think about it and your perspective about this. That's why I have another video about your thoughts, because your thoughts are just as important as the actual actions that you take. So if you want more help with this, if you want to go further, you can get into Vegan Goddess Power. That's a one-on-one 3-month experience with my support, help, and guidance. If you want to lose fat, if you want to improve your vegan lifestyle, your vegan eating, your mindset, and or your self-care as a woman, this is for you. It's 7 calls. 1 is the intro call. The other 6 are every 2 weeks, along with the unlimited Voxer support in between. And at the end, I create like a little guide plan for you that's customized to you so that you can change your life from where you are now to where you currently desire to be. I do not create workout or meal plans. That is not what I do. But there are people who do. So if you do want help with any of this though, I can do that with my 15 years of experience. I know I can help you on this path. And if you really want to live a healthy vegan lifestyle your way that you love as a woman, get in there now. The link to that is in the description, along with a link to the Vegan Goddess Meal Planner and Tracker if you want that. It's an instant PDF download that you can type in and use whenever you want, or print it out and use whenever you want. It's no BS, no fluff. It's 17 pages long of things that can help you with your vegan eating and keep it organized and consistent. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.